please, please listen to the remaining half hour of this program, because I don't think you have done your homework. I have. And if you know history, you don't repeat it. If you don't know history, you do repeat it. And this history you do not want to repeat. Has this ever happened before? Yes. Woodrow Wilson. Sunstein is taking a page right from Wilson's playbook, and by the end of this episode, you are going to know why you do not want to even look at that playbook. The idea is simple, that the governing elite knows best. That's why they have all these czars and everything else, because they know best. They don't need to go to Congress. They don't need to listen to the people, because the people are uninformed and incapable of choosing what's best for them in society, or for society on the whole. They just don't know. It's very complex. True public opinion is denied. Have you checked the polls on Arizona? They're doing it anyway. Have you checked the polls on healthcare? They did it anyway. Have you checked the polls on any of it that they're doing anyway? True public opinion is denied. Alternate realities are created and presented then as truth. We call it propaganda. That's why nothing rings true anymore. Voices of opposition are discredited, intimidated, bribed, or eliminated. Check old episodes of what we told you about all of the policies that Cass Sunstein has outlaid, where he says discredit these voices, eliminate these voices, infiltrate these voices. Progressives also look to use war, or the moral equivalent of war, an economic crisis, a human rights issue, to push through their progressive agenda, which always includes the suspension of basic rights. You can never waste a good crisis, and the ends justify the means. That is Woodrow Wilson, and that is Saul Alinsky. They also view the Constitution as an organic document, outdated in its original form. It's open to modern interpretation. Wilson, I think, hated it. All right, so let's concentrate here. I hate this SOB. And the more you learn about this guy, the more you will too. This is the most evil guy I think we've ever had in office. 1916, Woodrow Wilson won re-election in part, large part, due to a commitment to keep America from entering World War I. One of his campaign slogans boasted, "He kept us out of war." There was a very strong anti-war sentiment in America at the time. Americans, if Americans favored a side, they would have gone with the Germans, because Germans were the largest ethnic group in America at the time. Most people weren't paying attention. The Germans were. Okay, so on the eve of asking Congress to declare war on Germany, remember, he ran, "I'm not going to get us into war." It was about a month later. In fact, I got to give you the exact date here, because this is amazing. 1916, he was running for election. 1917, his inaugural address, March 4th, 1917, he said, "We're going to pursue peace, and even though we've been injured by the effects of war, we're not going into war." That was March 4th, 1917. April 13th, 1917, America goes to war, and he's got Frank Cobb. Frank Cobb, he's the editor of the New York World newspaper at the time, close friend and confidant of Wilson. He says these words, "We couldn't fight Germany and maintain the ideals of government that all thinking men shared." He said, Wilson, "We'll try it, but it'll be too much for us. Conformity would be the only virtue, and every man who refused to conform would have to pay a penalty." He thought the Constitution would not survive it, and that free speech and right of assembly would go. But he knew better than everybody else. See, Wilson needed to change public opinion. And change public opinion he did. I'll show that to you now.